Most people don't even know the difference between a product transfer and a remortgage. But by not fully understanding this, you could be missing out on mortgage options and you could be paying a lot more interest than you need to. So if you get it wrong now, it could massively impact you in the future and it could cost you time and money. Hi, I'm Jenny from Your Mortgage Hub, and I'm here to help those starting out or starting over with their mortgage applications by showing you what you should and shouldn't be doing when it comes to applying for a mortgage. I had a couple of clients come to me and they were looking to move home, and the idea was they would move home and they would keep their current home and they would start to rent that out. Basically, they were self-employed and looking to sort of build a bit of a pension pot through properties, which was absolutely fine. In theory, we can do that. We do a let to buy and we transfer onto a new residential mortgage. However, they had remained with their current lender for many, many years and simply changed the product that they was on. So every time their product come to an end, they just got a letter and said, right, we'll have that product. And they chose one that the lender was offering. So when it comes to actually moving, it meant by doing that, they'd chosen the wrong lender because we weren't able to do what we needed to do. So the current lender that they were with wouldn't allow them to take their mortgage to their new home, but they also wouldn't allow them to rent out their current home, which is the two main things that actually the purpose of moving is what they wanted to do. This meant that they had two options. They either stay exactly where they were, or they have to pay higher early repayment charges. Now, we're not just talking a couple of £100, we were talking thousands of pounds in penalties, and that was to break the deal because they hadn't considered when they were choosing their new product what they wanted to do in the future, and this was going to cost them dearly. And it did cost them. The option was they decided their preference was they wanted to move to their new bigger home and they wanted to build a portfolio for their residential, for their rental, for their pension pot. So they had no choice but to pay those early repayment charges. And I think from memory, they're about £4,000. So that's a big chunk of money. And they didn't have it. So they had to borrow the money. So not only are they paying early repayment charges, they're now paying interest on those early repayment charges because they've had to borrow it on the new home. When you transfer from and you just swap your deal with the current lender, unfortunately, some lenders are a bit like some well-known TV providers or communication providers where you don't always get the best deal as an existing client. So you could actually be just paying more for taking the easier option by staying with your current lender. When you're looking and your deal comes to an end, you need to be checking the whole of the market every single time because it could cost you thousands if you don't. So here are the 5 things that you should be considering if your mortgage product is coming to an end and you're looking to get into a new deal. Number 1, you need to be looking at this 6 months before that mortgage deal comes to an end. Okay, so most lenders will allow you to switch onto a new product within 3 months. Whether the interest rates are, you probably want that deal to come to an end before you switch over because you're probably going to pay more. But it can take 4 or 5 months for a remortgage to go through. And the last thing any broker wants to happen is for you to land on the lender's variable rate for a period of time where it's going to cost you a lot more interest. So start the process 6 months before that's ending and speak to your mortgage broker. Number 2, you always need to check the whole of the market. Now, this can be really hard work if you are trying to do it yourself. So the best thing to do is just get yourself a whole of market mortgage advisor. What we do is we'll check all of the rates across all of the lenders and we'll match them to your right circumstances. So if you said to me, Jenny, I'm looking to move in 2 years, there's absolutely no point me giving you a 5-year product because it gives you less flexibility. If you say to me, Jenny, I want to rent the house out potentially, then I need to place you with a lender that will allow you to do that. So it's really important that you look at the whole of the market and don't just consider what your current lender's offering you. Number 3, you need to consider the plans that you have in the future. Now, I've kind of alluded to this already, but like I say, if you're looking to move home, then you need to match the deal and the product that will allow you to do that. If you're looking to rent the property out, you need to do that. It may be that you've got some money coming your way and you want to make a large overpayment. Again, you need to consider all of that when you're choosing your product. The best person to do that for you is your mortgage broker. Number 4, has your circumstances changed? Have you maybe recently gone self-employed? Maybe you've had another baby. How is that going to impact on the affordability of the mortgage? It may be that previously you had adverse credit, that's now dropped off your credit file, and actually you can get better rates by moving away. So you need to look at your circumstances, how that's changed and how that's going to impact on your mortgage. And again, the best person that can advise you on that is your mortgage broker. Number 5, is there any material changes that you're wanting to make to that mortgage? So it may be that you want to pay off a lump sum. Maybe you want to extend the mortgage term or shorten the mortgage term. Maybe you just want to pay more per month or less per month. It's really important that we consider all of that. And that would also then guide us to whether we stay with your current lender or whether we transfer you onto a new lender. So to recap, the 5 things that you need to consider if your product is coming to an end and you don't know to do a product transfer or a remortgage is: 1, start the process 6 months before it's due to come to an end so we can make sure we've got it in place when it does end. Number 2, check the whole of the market, find the right lender that matches you and your circumstances. Number 3, consider what your plans are for the future. Number 4, has any of your circumstances changed? Is that for a good thing or a bad thing? How's that going to impact on your overall mortgage? And number 5, is there any material changes you're wanting to make? Maybe large overpayment, maybe you're looking to reduce or increase the mortgage term. Consider all of these 5 things, and that's going to guide you whether a remortgage is right or whether a product transfer is right for you. So if your product is coming to an end, you need to contact your mortgage broker as soon as possible, with hopefully within 6 months. But if you want any more hints and tips on what you shouldn't be doing when it comes to applying, just go check out my page.